Hey man, tomorrow I'm gonna be going live, scoring the Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter fight. I'm gonna score the rounds by rounds. I'm gonna talk about what happens in the round, break it down. Uh, if y'all want to join me, man, y'all can break down the rounds and we can get it in. Just in case it's a close fight, we can have everybody thoughts and opinions on the fight, and we can get through the weeds and see who won if it's a close fight. I got a feeling it may be a bit of a close fight. It may be a bit of a close fight, seeing how they both got contrast styles, and styles may fight. So tomorrow I'm just gonna go live and score the fight round by round. But I want to get into this new Terence Crawford deal he got with Top Rank. Shout out to Black Fight Fan and 78. They have a new show that they do every day called Trill, and they go, they talk about, they give you like the boxing news, each day by day. Shout out to them guys doing a good job over there. But he had Bomac, Terrence Crawford trainer on there, and they was talking about Terrence Crawford new deal that he has with ESPN and Bob Arum. He was just giving him the breakdown of the contract, not how much Terrence Crawford is making, but he was just basically giving him the breakdown. What was interesting that I heard on the interview was he said that that in the plans they have in the plans if everything go right to fight Earl Spence late next year, late 2019. So he said he's gonna try to get with his new contract. He was gonna try to get Terrence Crawford to fight 3 times a year. And you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that the fighter's gonna be active, and that the road's gonna lead to some good competitive fights. But you can go over there to Trill Boxing with a black fight fan and 78. You can hear the whole interview. I don't want to talk about the whole interview. I want to kill the man's the interview that he got on there. Y'all can just go on there, get a man some views, get a man thumbs up and all that stuff. But I want to talk about what the deal. It's a lot of people out there that's saying why Terrence Crawford signed this deal. Now I'm not want to count people pockets, man. I'm not want to say why another man signed a deal. It's the same thing with Tim Bradley when he signed a deal with Top Rank, and I believe every fight that he fought with Top Rank, he was guaranteed $6 million. Some people want the guarantee because some people don't. Some people probably feel like especially in this boxing game, you never know what's gonna happen. So guys want guaranteed money. The money was right there for him to accept. With Bob Arum, and he took it. So I'm not gonna say just because Crawford signed with Bob Arum that the fight with Terrence Crawford can't happen, or the fight with Danny, or the fight with Porter, or the fight with Keith Thurman can't happen, because those fights can still happen, man. I'm not gonna put the onus on the promoters or the advisors or the trainers. Man, I put the onus on the fighters, man, because the fighters want to fight, they gonna fight. Plain and simple, man. If the fighters say, "Give me that fight," the fight is gonna happen. So I don't care what a fighter is signed with. I don't care if he doesn't have a signed deal, or he's fighting on another network. Like I said, when things can happen, man, to where guys can fight. So whether if Terrence Crawford got to go to Showtime and fight, or Earl Spence got to go to ESPN and fight, or they just do a joint thing like HBO and Showtime did with Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. Now I don't know if the networks will feel like it's that big of a fight for them to have to do a joint contest, but sometimes even the networks have to be in just to give us this fight. They will have to probably do a joint thing to where it just air on both stations. It air on ESPN and it air on Showtime. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it's a lot of people getting on Bud about Crawford, about signing that contract with Bob Arum. There's a lot of people. There's people out there that don't like Bob Arum, don't like De La Hoya. Look, it doesn't really matter to me. Whoever's gonna give me the fights, that I don't care who's doing the promoting. I don't see why we getting into all that. Why boxing supporters are getting all into who's with who's signing what deal. We just need to stick to getting calling out these fights and get fighters and getting these fights done. Forget about all that other stuff is a distraction. All that who's making the most money and who signed with who and who not offering enough money. All that stuff is a distraction. The biggest thing that we need to be pushing, like I said, as boxing supporters, is how we gonna get these guys in the ring to where and get these guys in the ring while they're in their prime. I don't want to see a Danny Garcia fight Crawford when they're both like 35, 36 years old. No, I want to see that fight within the next 12 months at least. That's what we need to be pushing, man. We have to stop all the distractions and all the bickering. It's like a soap opera on here, man. I'm serious, man. It's like look. It's entertainment. I understand all that, but it's like a soap opera sometimes with these guys, man. And talking about people pockets, man. I don't care about what another man is making. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys act like they making the money. No, you're not making the money. They're making the money. So they got a team around them. They got people around them. You got to let those guys handle their affairs. Let those guys handle, and let that fighter, smarten up and handle his business. You know what I'm saying? So let them handle all that stuff, and we just see the product in the ring. I'm hoping. I'm always happy that a guy gets his money, especially in a sport like boxing, as brutal as boxing is. Yeah, you want guys to get their money, but I don't want to sit up here and you know what I'm saying, discuss it for weeks after days and weeks and months and years discussing how much the guy's supposed to be getting paid. Is the promoter cheating him out of money? You know what I'm saying? That's for the boxer and the people around him. Like I said, for them to protect him, he protect himself, sign a good contract, and make sure you get compensated for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So to me, Crawford took the deal because he feel like it's compensation enough for him. He making the choice and for his family. If he feel like that deal is good for him, hey, I'm all for it, man. No, get your money, man. Get your money while you can. So like I said with that, the fight can still happen, man. All the fights can happen. What everybody go to PBC or what? Like everybody's not gonna go to PBC. It's a pipe dream. It's other promoters out here, so other fighters gonna sign with these other promoters. Like PBC got a lot of good fighters. Don't get me wrong, but I can't expect everybody to say, "Well, I'm gonna sign with PBC." Everybody not gonna sign with PBC. So let's stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe, man, and chasing, the dog chasing his own tail around in the circles, talking about this money stuff and talking about all this contract stuff when we can be pushing these fights. Like I'm pushing the Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence fight. I'm gonna push it for the next. I'm gonna talk about it, at length. You know what I'm saying? The chances I get for the next, however, until they get in the ring. Because, it's a lot of people pushing the Joshua Wilder fight. Yes, I want to see that fight. Yes, I'm pushing that fight too, because that fight should be happening next year. That fight should also happen next year. That shouldn't be the only. Terence Crawford and you know, Earl Spence should not be the only fight happening next year. That Wilder Joshua fight should be happening next year. It's time for these fights. It's time for these fights. These fights got to understand too. Fighting your prime, and then y'all can fight each other again. Okay, Fury gonna beat Wilder. Hey, you gotta. That's your pick. I got Wilder beating Fury. I don't. I stated my case on that. I don't think Fury is ready for that fight this soon. I think Fury need a couple more fights. But I'm gonna get back on this Terrence Crawford thing. Then we can talk about that. But I'm gonna start putting the onus on these fighters to go in there and fight. Man, these guys got to go in there and handle their business and get these big fights made. So we can, like I said about the UFC. One thing I like about the UFC, those guys are not allowed to duck each other, man. Dana White is not having it. Now I know people will say, well, the reason why they're not ducking each other because Dana White, they have is one boss over the whole crew. Okay, that's true. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, these guys don't. These guys fighting each other. I like the UFC model as far as these guys fighting each other, and I like it that they have one belt for. Now I know they have interim titles. Like when guys get hurt, they do have interim titles, but they largely have one belt per weight class. So you understand and you recognize who the champion is. Now the interim champion is only the champion. He's only the guy like holding the belt, and then when the guy come off an injury or whatever, he comes back and he fights for the title, and they clear it up right away. They don't have interim champions for years and years and years. They clear that shit up. So, boxing need to start getting their stuff together, man. Having these guys. Okay, it's cool to have them fight their mandatories, but if it's a unification match out there, unification, from what I understand, you know what I'm saying, by the rules of the sanctioning bodies, that unification, six trumps mandatories. So I know that people were saying that Sean Porter and Danny Garcia have mandatories that they had to have after they win this fight, but one of them can fight. Whoever win this fight can fight Earl Spence right away, because, Earl Spence has a belt, and the winner of this fight will have the WBC. So, they'll be unifying, so that trumps all the mandatories. Now, if they don't fight, for a unification fight, then they have to fight a mandatory. Then at that point, but Earl Spence said that he's promised the winner. And it's reports saying that Earl Spence, Keith Thurman will be at ringside. And, Keith Thurman got an interview coming up with Brendan Schaub below the belt. I think in the next couple days or so or whatever. So he got an interview coming out. I would like to see, get some answers get answered in that interview. I know Angel Garcia, for the last month or so, since Danny Garcia announced a fight with Sean Porter, he been saying that he don't think Keith Thurman's gonna fight again. Now, Keith Thurman did suffer a setback injury when he got back in camp to get ready for a fight earlier this summer. He said that he got reports that Keith Thurman won't be fighting again, but I haven't heard that from Keith Thurman. And I'm one of those people that's inclined. I want to hear from the horse's mouth. Uh, you know, Angel Garcia may have some inside. I wouldn't be surprised if he got some inside track, because he's in the boxing circles. He can get information, but I think if Keith Thurman couldn't box again due to injury, I think he would have told us by now. So I just think that he just had a setback, and he said himself that the WBC promised him that he can fight for his title when he comes back. Like, he's like the champion in, like, what they call it, the champion in wait, that not waiting, but in recess. Like, he's the champion in recess or whatever. So I don't know how that works out. I don't see Keith Thurman coming out fighting Porter and Danny Garcia for his first fight. He would have to have a warm up fight. So let's just say he have a warm up fight next year or this year or whatever, and Earl Spence fights the winner Danny Garcia and Sean Porter next spring or whatever, and Keith Thurman, I guess he can fight Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying? If he fight Earl Spence and that consolidates 3 belts, then the only belt left is the WBO with Terence Crawford, and then they can fight that fight, late 2019, depending on what depending on what Terence Crawford's schedule is. And Terence Crawford posed to fight again. Oh, he posed to fight Jose Benavidez. Now, I don't mind the Jose Benavidez fight, but I forgot Jose Benavidez did get shot in the leg. Now, some people say he was dragging his leg around in the last fight. I didn't really see his last fight, so I have to go back and look at it and see was he dragging his leg, because if he was dragging his leg in that fight, man, he gonna get dominated versus Crawford. I hate to see a one-sided fight. I don't like seeing one-sided fights, man. I don't like what. Okay, what I don't like is this. I like to know that the fight is competitive, at least on paper, before they go into the fight, so I can get hyped over something. That's why I really don't want to see the Wilder versus Fury fight, because I really don't think that fight gonna be competitive due to Fury, layoff and all his other problems and gaining weight and all this stuff and fighting the guys that he fought, for his warm up, his so called tune up fights. That's why I want to see Fury at his best, at his potentially best. You know what I'm saying? And I think he needs about 3 more fights, man. That's just my opinion. So, that's my opinion on that. But I think, oh yeah, we do got the Triple G Canelo fight coming up. I already said what I thought about that. I think Triple G will probably stop Canelo in the later rounds in this fight. Triple G has to go to his body early. I believe when Triple G goes to the body on Canelo, it will break Canelo down. It will help Triple G stop some of Canelo's movement, and Triple G will have a better chance at landing clean. Because I thought Triple G landed clean a couple times, like talking about clean, like he was landing shots, but I don't think he got Canelo clean. You know what I'm saying? Canelo got him clean sometimes, and he was walking straight through a lot of Canelo shots, man. And I think that discouraged Canelo too when Golovkin was walking through some of his punches. Canelo never had a man walk through his punches like that. And when you're known to be a puncher, like Canelo is known to be a puncher in some extent, and a guy walks through your best shots, that will discourage you. I thought Triple G won the first fight 8-4. I thought it was a competitive 8-4. It was a competitive fight, but it was 8-4. I thought Canelo left a couple rounds on the table when he was on the ropes and wasn't doing anything. That doesn't look good versus the judge. When you're on the ropes and you're not mounting no type of offense off your defense, or trying to fight off the ropes. You just on the ropes, just trying to duck and dodge punches, and some punches get through, some punches miss, but that doesn't look good to the judges. You can't fight like that, and the judges are looking at who's busy, who's landing punches, who's not landing punches. And then you got to understand who's judging the fight. Some judges like clean and effective punches. Some judges like fighters that come forward most of the fight. And Triple G was coming forward most of the fight. That's another thing about why I thought Triple G was winning some of those rounds. He was coming forward, making the fight. It's something to be said about a guy coming forward, making the fight. And then again, Triple G landed more punches and threw more punches. Triple G threw like what, almost 200 more punches than Canelo. Like, man, you got outworked on both sides. You got outthrown and outlanded. You know what I'm saying? That just can't happen, man. You can't. And then you going back on if you're going to fight off your back foot, you got to land some punches, man. You got to land some punches. You got to be sharp up in there. And Canelo wasn't sharp. He can fight off his back foot, but he's not real effective off his back foot. I mean, he's not going to beat top level fighters off his back foot. Canelo is going to have to stand his ground. He's going to have to come forward, and sometimes he's not a guy that's going to live off his back foot and win a fight in an impressive fashion. There's only a few fighters in boxing right now that can fight off their back foot and win the fight, clean. Fighters like Keith Thurman, fighters like Terence Crawford, they can fight off their back foot and live off their back foot and win a fight. So I don't think Canelo is that type of fighter. I mean, I like Canelo. I like that he go out there and fight. I like Canelo that Canelo goes out there. He got a pretty good resume. You know what I'm saying? He got Shane Mosley on his resume. He got Cotto on his resume. He got Mayweather on his resume. He got Laura on his resume. You know what I'm saying? He fought Austin Trout when Austin Trout was undefeated. After Austin Trout beat Cotto. So he got some good people on his resume, man. You know what I'm saying? So he comes to fight. Now, do he win all the fights? No, I thought he lost the Laura fight. Some people thought he maybe possibly lost the Cotto fight. No, he beat Cotto 8-4, in my opinion. So he definitely lost the Mayweather fight. The lady that had that a draw was atrocious. But man, yeah. So yeah, I got Danny Garcia winning the fight. I didn't see the weigh-in yet. I want to see the weigh-in. See what kind of mess Angel Garcia talking, man. See if he talking, trying to talk mess, trying to get under Porter's skin. But yeah, I got Danny winning a close fight. But yeah, I'm gonna score the fight live, round by round. So if anybody want to join me tomorrow, scoring the fight round by round, just in case it's a close fight, I can have all my rounds in the books, and I can tell you who I thought won the fight, despite who I pick. It doesn't matter who I pick. You know what I'm saying? If Porter won the fight, even if I pick Danny, I'm gonna say Porter won the fight. So I'm gonna be right down the middle. I'm gonna be right down the middle. I'm gonna break down the rounds as the rounds are going on. I can say who I think is winning and why they winning. So y'all can score the fights too if anybody want to join me. Score the fight, man, and put it in the books. So I wanted to talk about news that Gervonta Davis is, going at it again with Floyd Mayweather. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand this, man. Why this back and forth? Men don't have back and forth like this, man. It seems like everybody that Floyd is, far as a male that he's in contact with, they always having back and forth. Him and 50 Cent, him and Adrian Broner. Man, look, I don't know if they doing it for publicity or they doing it just can't be for publicity with everybody. Like beefing and arguing with other men, like that's for women, man. Men don't do that. Men sit down and discuss things. It's either gonna go one way. It's either y'all gonna talk it out and agree to disagree, or y'all gonna fight. I don't see why two grown men are arguing over social media and all this crap. Gervonta Davis knew exactly what Floyd Mayweather is. Got Floyd Mayweather's number. Floyd Mayweather got his number. Y'all need to sit down as men. I think Gervonta Davis. I seen an interview when Gervonta Davis said that he got 2 more years on his deal or something like that, and he's promised so many fights. So either Floyd let him out his contract or y'all get along. Well, I'm not saying y'all have to be best friends, or y'all just he say what he gotta say, you say what you gotta say, and that's it. You just be his promoter, and he's just your fighter, and you go out there and get the fights, and he go out there and fight, earn both of y'all money, and when his contract is over, you let him go. Because see, one thing about Floyd Mayweather, I think he was just too nice to these fighters in the beginning. Like he brought Gervonta Davis a car and brought him jewelry, and now you got these guys thinking that it's easy out here. No, boxing is naturally boxing is a grind. Most guys got to grind, and I just believe Floyd Mayweather, gave Gervonta Davis way too much in the beginning. You gotta let that man earn it. What was you trying to do? You were trying to buy him or something? Like, you can't buy friends, man. Either he's gonna like you as a person, or he's not gonna like you as a person. So that's why I think him and Gervonta Davis is going through what they going through. It's just Floyd brought this man a car. Gervonta Davis is from Baltimore, and in the hood, and Floyd kind of got him up out of there in certain respects. And I'm not saying Gervonta Davis couldn't sign with another promoter, but I doubt it if other promoters would have did the same thing that Floyd was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because usually it's like a record deal. They give you money up front, and you got to pay that money back. You know what I'm saying? Gervonta Davis probably would have been in a situation to where he was not going to be making money off his fights. He was going to be paying the promoter back. So I don't know, man. You don't want to have a toxic situation. I don't understand why Mayweather want to have those type of headaches anyway. If I was Mayweather, I probably wouldn't even be a promoter, man. Those are headaches. You got headaches with these fighters out here, man. They Tank Davis saying now that Floyd Mayweather want to train him. Like, Floyd, like, you want to train him? Y'all already really don't get along. Now you want to train the man? It's like, come on, man. He want to. Most fighters are comfortable with the guys that they come up with. Now, if Gervonta Davis starts slipping and having bad performances, then I understand you say, okay, man, you probably need to trade. Probably need to get a better trainer. They took you as far as they could take you. Then that's admirable. So that's something that you can probably say. But I mean, yeah, he did miss weight, but when the time Tank Davis missed weight, Floyd Mayweather claimed that Tank was training with him then, and he ended up showing up to the fight missing weight and lost his belt on the scale. So look, I don't know, man. I don't know. These fighters want stuff like at the snap of a finger, and they're not putting the performance in the ring. Like Gervonta Davis don't have no. Yes, he won the fight, but who do he really have on his resume? He's still a young guy. So, but who do he really have on his resume to say that he's a star in boxing? No, he's not a star. He's a future star. He could be a star in the future. He's not a star. You just can't be throwing around that he's a star. He's a star. No, what have he done? What has he done to say that he's a star? That's what I want to know. I haven't seen it yet. Now he has some talent, in the ring. I see nice talent. I see nice skills, but having nice skills is only one half of it. You gotta get the other half, the discipline. Have the fights under your belt. Let me see you fight somebody who I think your boxing career don't start until you get into a fight where people think that you can either lose or it's a 50-50 fight. That's when your boxing career starts. Until then, you just get matchmake pretty well. The matchmakers are matching you up pretty well, getting you some pretty good fights. So yeah, Gervonta Davis, he just need to keep his head on straight, man. When his 2-year contract over, man, he just need to get another promoter. Now, if after his contract is over and he signed back with Floyd Mayweather, then that's on him. That's his decision. I just think Floyd Mayweather should just let this man be his own man, and the way Gervonta Davis is talking, man, Floyd may well decide to cash this kid out by putting him in there with some tough fights, man. Might try to put him in there with Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying? Or Gary Russell Jr. or somebody like that. So, I don't know, man. I don't know why other men have beef with other men, man. It's either gonna, like I said, it's either gonna go one or two ways, man. Either y'all gonna talk it out, agree to disagree, or y'all gonna fight. Is I don't know. I don't live in that. I don't live in that world to where I'm gonna be beefing with somebody over social media, on and off, on and off. It's like they're a couple, man. They act like they're a couple, seriously. And then in relationships, you shouldn't be acting like that. You shouldn't be going on and off, breaking up, coming back together with your woman, on and off, on and off. That's toxic, man. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, I'm gonna be looking at this fight tomorrow. I'm gonna be looking at that. I'm gonna also look at that UFC fight. I'm gonna try to look at that fight too. But I think they both start around the same time. So if I order the UFC fight, I'm gonna have to tape it. But I don't think I have to tape it if I order it on my PlayStation. It will stay up in my archives for a little while. But yeah, I want to see that Tyron Woodley versus Till fight, Darren Till fight. Darren Till, the kid looked like he's hungry. You know what I'm saying? Hungry and want to fight and want to be the best. But let me know what y'all think about Terence Crawford new deal. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm out.